Okay, this is a speed clean washer, commercial washer with a point slide. And I just trimmed the belt. So to take off the front panel, you have one bolt over here, and that's what's happening over here. And then another bolt over here. You just take those two off, and then so that's the front panel. Take those two off, and then yank the front panel from the bottom. Just swing it up a little bit, and then that's gonna come out of those two indentations over here, and then they slide right off. You can put that aside. Now, what went wrong with my washer is that it doesn't agitate and it doesn't spin. And when I open up the front panel, I can see that I got a broken belt right over there. Okay. Now, so I put the belt on, a new belt on, as you can see over there. Okay, so let's see. Let me change to a different angle that you can see the belt is on. Over here you can see I put the belt on, and then I turn on the cycles. Immediate smoke, and it agitates, but it doesn't spin. Okay, and I thought there's something wrong, and then I immediately unplugged the power cord, right, and then started doing some internet search. There's a whole bunch of misinformation out there saying that if it agitates but doesn't spin, it's the transmission that's going bad. No, that's not true at all. The transmission is bad if it doesn't agitate. The transmission is good if it agitates but doesn't spin, because the transmission only handles agitation. It does not handle spin at all. Okay, so it does not handle spin at all. When it agitates but it doesn't spin, it's not a problem with the transmission. And then, so I thought it's probably the problem with the brake. Now, what you do is you just turn the wheel. As you can see over there, there's a white plastic part that's called a helix, and then above the helix you can see there's a pulley where the belt loops around. So you just turn the pulley one direction, and then the helix will engage. It doesn't move. That turns the agitator. And if you turn the pulley the other way, then the helix will disengage. You can see the black part on top of the white plastic will rise above the white plastic. Okay, that's what I call disengage. And then that's going to release the brake. The transmission will disengage. So that will be the spin cycle. The transmission would disengage, and the entire inner drum would spin. And so the way that you try this out is you basically, you can either turn this belt if you have the belt on, or you can just turn that pulley, that black plastic pulley, counterclockwise or clockwise in one direction. I think if you turn it clockwise, if you are looking upwards from bottom, if you turn this clockwise, it will essentially turn the inner drum. And if you turn this, well, I can't be 100% sure. I will have to wait until this turns, and then I can be sure. But if you turn it one way, it will agitate, and if you turn it another way, it's supposed to spin. Now the problem with mine is that I was trying to spin it, and it's really, really hard. Okay, it's almost like it's locked up, but it's not. I can see that you can see there are two screws over there, right? And then on top of the screw, you can see there is a right over there. Okay, yeah. And then that looks like a brake pad, and it is a brake pad. There's three of them. So if you turn to the other two directions, you can see three of them. This is one. And so if you turn it to the spin direction, the brake pad is supposed to disengage from the brakes. And if it does, then you are good. You just have to turn it harder. Okay, and then it should work. You can also grease up that between the brake pads and the brakes. That may help a little bit. So I just put in some PV blaster and help that a little bit. So right now you can see I'm in the agitate cycle. You can see that the drum just moves a tiny bit. Okay, so it's not the drum, it's really the transmission that's just moving a tiny bit. Okay, so what's happening with the agitator is, I can't really open up the lid. If I open up the lid, it's gonna stop, right? But it's just gonna the agitator is just turning back and forth. That's done by the transmission. Okay, so this part is just moving fine, and the helix is moving really, really fast. Okay, so never mind what you see on the screen. The after helix is moving so fast that I cannot really tell which direction it's turning. But from the belt, I can see that it's turning. I think it's turning clockwise if you look from bottom up. So clockwise is agitation, and counterclockwise must be spin. Okay, just continue filming. As you can see, the belt is still turning clockwise, and this is still in the agitation cycle. And over here, this is a capacitor. I think it's about 250 microfarad. Last time I looked at it. And here is the motor. And the white part is the water pump. It's secured to the motor by 3 clips. You're looking at the first one, and there are 2 more clips on both sides. Okay, so the spin, the agitation cycle just finished, and I think it's supposed to drain the water out. No, it went to the I think it went to the spin cycle right away. Alright, so it's, as you can see, it's moving the other way, and you can see the transmission is turning really fast, and the inner drum is turning really fast as well. And if you see very clearly, if you see really carefully, you can see that for the helix, the white part and the black part actually disengage. So hopefully you can see that. Alright. So when that happens, the inner drum really spins, and it's using the centrifugal force to dry the clothes. Right now, I think this is a slow spin cycle. Spin speed is increasing. Now it's really spinning. This spring is actually pretty important. It provides tension on a pulley which we cannot see right now. But if the spring is not providing enough tension, then the belt is not going to work. The belt is not going to be able to transfer energy from the motor to the transmission. And right now, this is actually still in the in-use cycle, so it's still pretty early in the washing process. The next cycle is rinse. So I can hear the water getting in, and just like the very beginning of the cycle, the drum spin a little bit for maybe 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and now it stops. The washer is filling water. And one more thing I want to add is when you replace the drive belt, you don't have to remove your motor, but you do have to remove your water pump. Now, when I did it, I removed the whole assembly. I removed the whole motor and the water pump. In order to do that, I have to take off those 2 drain hoses, and there's gonna be some water spilling out, so put a towel underneath the drain hoses. And then there's 1, 2, and 2 more screws, 3, and okay, 4 behind the capacitor. So you have to remove those 4 fasteners. And oh, there's also the wiring harness over there. Okay. That plastic wiring harness is pressed on the tab on the top. It comes right off, right? And yeah, remove the capacitor as well. Right? Just remove the bracket, and then just leave the capacitor hanging in there. Then the entire motor and the water pump assembly will come out. And then remove the 3 clips from the water pump. Then you can replace your drive valve. You don't have to do this. You really only need to remove your water pump. But anyways, I just do it that way. And I want to add that a lot of people say Speed Queen has a really good quality and whatnot. I don't really know. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 different commercial washers, and I've had maybe 1 or 2 before. And I think Maytag is good. Whirlpool is not that bad. Speed Queen is a lot more expensive than Whirlpool, and it's not necessarily that much better. So, you know, my dryer is a Whirlpool. I bought the dryer and the washer at about the same time, and the dryer has no problems at all. Admittedly, washer is more complex than a dryer, but hey, I don't know. I find it hard to justify that 50 plus more of the price markup. Okay, so the rinse cycle has just finished filling water, and I think it's going through the agitation cycle right now. Yep, you can see the motor is spinning. The drive valve is turning the transmission right now, and you can see the drum is turning slowly. Okay. Well, it's not really the drum, it's really the transmission. It's turning slowly. So the agitator on the top is agitating. I can hear the water is being agitated. I don't know if you can see what I see. Maybe it's too dark for the camera, but I can see that agitator inside the tub is agitating. So when the agitator agitates, it doesn't just go one way. It goes back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so the agitation cycle just finished. Let's see what the next cycle is. All right. So I guess it's doing a spin cycle right now. It's turning counterclockwise. If you look at this from bottom up, okay, now it really spins. So it's spinning really, really hard. So the construction of this thing is that you see this is the weldment, kind of like a upside down milk stool, and that white part, the bottom of the white part is what's supporting the weight of the drum and the motor and transmission and everything. And then the rest of this is actually just, they make this shake a little bit, and then they actually use the strong springs, maybe 8 of them, to kind of hold it. But other than that, they allow the entire drum and everything just to spin a little bit. Just to shake a little bit during the spin and also during agitation cycle. And it's really shaking right now. And this is the final spin cycle. Okay, so the finished. The entire cycle took a little bit less than half an hour. I edited out some of the part that is, pretty much the same thing. I shortened some of the cycles, but the entire cycle was about half an hour. Okay, that's it.